じゃのう。行くとするか。はい。マイティー。
What's going on, fellow Pokemon fans? Today, guys, we have episode 77 of Pokemon Horizons, Mighty G. Yo, I love that stuff. Mighty G. Sharpedo. I like it. Okay, so this was a really fun side episode. Once again, the main thing is that we are being taken to the Johto region, and specifically in this episode, we're being taken to Asagi City, which is where the old man comes from, you know, Mr. Mighty G himself, but really it's Olivine City within Johto, the Johto region. This is going to be the same city where I believe the gym leader's name is Jasmine. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've personally been into the Johto region myself, but I think this is going to be one of the very first times to where this specific group has traveled to you know, a very older region, right? If we think back to the original series, we went to Kanto first, we went to Johto second. So I love seeing that we are now on to the second area, second city, second region where Ash has visited in the past anime before, right? The first time is we got into Galar, right? So we went into the Galar region. And we went into the wild area there. You know, Ash had visited in these areas before. Now we're back into the Johto region, which we're all really familiar with. Of course, with the, you know, with the Entei and the 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭 and the Liko. You know, lots of history here. But I love that we're now in Olivine City. So hopefully, if Jasmine herself, if the gym leader, makes a appearance, I think that would be really, really awesome here as well too. But let's go back and let's just focus on this episode, which was really all about taking us into a history down the path of Olivine City and of a very specific hero actor named 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐻. And 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐻 is just Mighty G, which is really cool. And we get a whole entire history and a whole entire story of kind of how the brave Olivine, which is, you know, the brave Asagi, you know, kind of how that came into be, and how we basically went in and we found that, hey, we got taken through a history for Ludlow, which, you know, he kind of like went through like, hey, you know, we used to have an ice cream store here and this and that. And basically we just find out that it's been years and years since Ludlow has returned to Olivine City, which is aka his hometown, which he told us like, hey, he has a ton of different hometowns. If it's by the sea, it's his hometown. And we get taken through a really cool scene where they meet up with this guy who, you know, he runs the boats and stuff, and essentially he's this big 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐻 fan. Basically, he's kind of like the guy who would really watch like old movies and stuff, and he's just a really big fan. Him and his Wooper, which is really, really cool. They take us down the memory lane. The whole time we're looking at Ludlow like, hey, that's you, bro. That's your Sharpedo, you know, whatever. And we find out that the real hero behind the scenes wasn't 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐻, wasn't Sharpedo. You know, it was actually a 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐧𝐬𝐿 behind the scenes, or you know, or a Wooper before, which I think is really cool as well too. It's just a really fun episode that took us through all the memories that Ludlow has had when he was an actor. And then how he transitioned to the Mighty G, which I would think is cool. Eventually, the episode ends with them sending saving the Tatsugiri from a whirlpool, because Murdoch was doing some stuff in the kitchen, and they just, you know, these Tatsugiri sushi. They decided to play a you know, a trick on him, a prank or whatever, and they ended up in trouble. And the episode basically ends off on them being all good to go, and then finding out from this guy that they met that he actually knows where this Entei is because he's had somebody else who came, rented a boat to go to find the Entei. And that's basically where we left off is, okay, now with next episode's preview, we see that they're going to actually come across Entei, and they're gonna come across him and they're gonna battle him. So next episode, episode 78, is where Entei is going to make his actual debut, which I think is going to be really, really cool. So overall, I thought this was just a really fun episode. I like the Mighty G stuff that they did before. I like it here again. I love Liko, Roy, and Dot's, charisma and their reaction to everything that keeps happening. And it was just a really, really fun time being able to see the Pokemon of the Johto region in Olivine City, like Miltank selling milk and stuff. I thought it was really, really cool. So just a really cute episode. And then next week is going to be where stuff kind of hits the fan. And next week's going to be the exciting episode where now we're going to come, across Entei. But now we're coming across Entei in one of the first hero Pokemon now that Liko has officially have 𝐜𝐴𝐴. So I think that's a really cool thing too. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. But this was a really fun episode of Pokemon Horizons. I would put this at an 8 out of 10. All right, Pokemon fans, fellow trainers, I'll see you guys next week for episode 78. See you then. Have a good one.